The game is over because when the KGB destroyed the culture, what they did was they took away Ukrainian culture from Ukrainian people and split it. So that some people will identify as Ukrainian, some people identify Russian, or some people identify both. But no one agrees on who is who.
They're going to be on some Ukrainian propaganda video in the Ukraine.
Yeah,
so
right.
KGB's going to be looking for you.
Yeah, they're coming for me, yeah? Come for me, KGB. All right. So you have 40 million Ukrainians, okay? But
40, not 42, let's say 40.
so let's say 40 to make it easier for my math. So out of those 40 million, you probably have 39,990,000 who aren't going to stand up, who aren't going to fight. So the problem is that they don't identify as a culture. So even if you had 100,000, even if you had 500,000 people stand up and say, Ukrainians unite against Russia, the other 39 million will not. Alex, how you doing?
I'm good, how are you?
Very good.
Great. Please, can you tell us? Just tell us everything you want
About what?
about universe, about God,
About the universe?
about great masters.
Grandmasters. Let's talk about grandmasters.
Yeah.
So if we were to look in the world right now, I believe there's approximately 2,000 to 3,000 grandmasters in chess out of approximately 7.5 billion people on the planet. And the planet, out of the 7.5 billion people, probably around 5 billion or more play or know of chess. So almost the whole world is aware of it. So we would say that out of any profession or job, it might be one of the most elite outside of, say, astronaut or maybe fighter pilot or special forces people. Those would be maybe the only people there's fewer of. And the great thing about a grandmaster is that you can't say to someone, I'm going to teach them chess and they're going to be a grandmaster. That's not how it works. Anyone can learn to play chess. Billions of people play it. But as you can see, it takes a lot of work and dedication, and it takes a spatial skill very few people have to actually become a grandmaster.
Are you a good player?
I would say I'm a good player against other bad players. So, but no, not in the world of chess. In the world of chess, I would be a very bad player.
Right. I know that you're a deep thinker. What can you say us about God, about universe? Why we here? What's the purpose of life?
Yeah, a lot of people argue or talk about what they think it is. If you wanted to be cynical, in a way, you could say our purpose was here to give God pleasure. Because if you believe in God as a perfect being, he doesn't need anyone to worship him, right? He's already perfect. What does he need humans for? Why does he need us to be fulfilled? He should be a fulfilled person already, being perfect. So why would we be created? They're created for his pleasure. So for him to have a reason to have someone love him without him making them love him, because it's no challenge to make something that loves you. The challenge is to make something that chooses to love you. So the whole challenge of the human race being basically created with the idea to please God, but with our willing choice. Like, he didn't force us to please him. He didn't force us to choose him. We willingly did.
So what do you think? Maybe it's some kind of game? Like his game?
In the most cynical way of looking at it, you would say yes. It would be like, in the grand scheme of things. I could argue in the grand scheme of things, we're not necessary, right? Like if you believe God is omnipotent, omniscient, omnipresent, then he doesn't need humans. He doesn't need worship. If he needed those things, he would not be omni anything. So yeah, it's a form of a game, and that's a cynical way of looking at it. I don't look at it that way, but if you were to break it down, yeah.
Yeah, do you want to wish something for modern generations, for young people?
Yeah, well, as a teacher, one thing I try to teach and instill in people is to persevere and to remember that everybody has a different perspective on their part of life, meaning that at one point you may be really low, and no matter how low you are, you better remember there's millions of people who would trade places with you. And no matter how high you are, remember that there's also people who weren't as fortunate to get where you were by either because of your circumstances or even if it was your hard work. So to always persevere. If you're not, if things are going good, great, persevere. and keep them going good. If things are going bad, persevere and remember that you do have a chance to have a better life.
Thank you.
Thank you.